That's pretty good. That
Yeah.
would make you the first person to have seen any episode prior to their episode.
All right.
So,
Starting out strong.
yeah, I appreciate it. I'm glad I'll know somebody will watch this one,
Yep,
provided
yep.
that's you. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad to have you on here.
Glad to be here.
Um, how do I want to start this? I have a couple of questions, and I didn't write them sequentially, which is my fault. But
Oh, that's all right.
I'll just start you with so if anybody's on this watching and you
Hmm.
have seen my YouTube channel, you have seen two other videos that are not this podcast.
Yep.
And one of them, Luke, is my very first film project that I had to do for college. And it's you're the star of this video. And I just do you want to tell us what it's about? Share a little experience. Just go
Yeah.
ahead.
So at this point, I didn't even know you very well, to be honest. Like, this was early
At
on.
all,
Was this
really.
freshman year, first
This was
semester?
freshman year. It had to be, yeah. It was
Yeah.
the only assignment I really had that semester.
So at this
Which is
point, like,
nothing.
I was living with uh, Gabe and Max on the other side. You had Max and Tristan on the other side. So there was like the six of
Four
us.
name drops.
We didn't like all. I mean, we'll get into more of that later. But basically, you like, hey, I need somebody to play a part in my little short film. I don't remember why the other people weren't available, but I was like, oh, that could be fun. I'm not a great actor, but I'll do it. So,
Yeah, I remember you weren't even the first choice, as I recall, because I was like
mhm,
kind of. I had Tristan, I think, and he was like, "Oh,
yep.
for sure, do it." And then you're like, "Hey, I'll do it if nobody wants to," and it came down to you.
Uh-huh. I
But
was what was
yeah.
left. So I'm not an actor by any means, but this was my first big like production. I'm just kidding.
Oh
So
yeah. No,
basically,
I'll say it.
yeah. From what I remember, it was like a silent film.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had two of. I mean, I don't know exactly how you knew her. But I think it was one of Megan's friends. Was that
Ooh, that's
right,
the
or
name
was
we
it?
can't drop.
Ooh,
I'll censor that one. No, it
I
definitely
censored that
was
one.
though.
That was one of
It
Megan's
was a
friends.
friend of an old friend.
Yes, a friend of an old friend. That's not my second name drop, by the way. I that's
You've already
scratch
dropped
that. Just
six. It doesn't even
cut this whole
matter.
thing.
No,
um.
no, no, no. We're going
Anyway,
good. Going
so
strong.
you and your friend, who you had got to play in here, um, she was supposed to be my wife. I was supposed to be a husband, and we had a bear, if I recall right. That was like the
A
child.
bear?
I think that was what
Oh,
you were using
okay.
for the baby.
Because it was like a little marriage life, like the movie Up. We just kind of sped
Right.
everything through like 2 minutes.
And from what I can remember, is like, I don't know, it started off good and all this, and then we had financial problems. And then I feel like it got really dark at the end. I don't remember exactly how it went. But I do know
I
that
should
the
have watched it.
volume got jacked up, or the color got jacked up. Something was wrong with the video, and it just didn't turn out right. Do you remember
Oh, everything was wrong with the video. I don't even know.
that?
Yeah,
That was
I
the extent of my acting life, though. So,
I genuinely don't remember what it's about. I didn't watch it. It's still on there, and I don't know. I guess we could watch it
I
now.
feel like we should
I don't know.
rewatch it.
So the other day, my nephew comes up to me, and he goes,
Hmm.
Theo David, I brought you like some movies, and so I was like, okay, let's check it out. So he goes up, and one of them, I recognized, you'll recognize it, was Bambi, which is a really
Nice.
random movie for him to show me. I have no idea. I don't know why he did it, but he did it, and it was cute. And then he gives me this, and he goes, "This is a movie that never came out, but it almost did." And I was like, "Really? What movie is it?" So I opened it up, and lo and behold, it's Jonah
No
the
way, it's
Veggie Tale.
Jonah.
It's Jonah, and it's disc one, so I don't know what happened, but yeah,
Dang,
just to hoping this
that's
movie ever comes out.
that's a throwback.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just
I
started dying. I was like, yeah, I was just like,
uh,
wow, it looks like a good movie. I hope they make it. And he's like, yeah, yeah. It was cute.
oh, that's so cute.
But yeah, I thought I really should share that.
It never came out. Well,
It never
once you
came
watch
out.
it, you'll have to let us know how it was, like, because that's an
Oh, I did
exclusive
watch it
copy.
actually. No,
Really?
I
Yeah.
watched it, and something very interesting I learned is
Hmm.
in the when you go to like set it up and it gives you the options of subtitles and there's audio commentaries. There's one that's just Larry and Mr. Lunt. It's not the actors, it's the characters, and they're giving the whole commentary for the entire movie.
What?
And
Just
that was pretty
Larry and
interesting.
Mr. Lunt? That seems like an odd pairing. You would think it would be Bob and Larry or
Well,
Mr. Lunt
here's
and
the
Mr.
thing.
Nezert.
I never looked it up, but I think Larry and Bob are the same actor.
Really?
I'm starting to think, and I didn't look it up because I don't want to spoil the magic, but like I don't know. Is it too insane to think that? They kind of sound similar. And then
Yeah,
you gotta think,
because
who else is Larry playing? It's all those names. I don't know who, though.
there's just this one guy who does all of the voices for VeggieTales.
Let's see.
That would be talented.
It's possible, though, right? Because a lot of shows do that. VeggieTales actors.
Especially because, I mean, this show probably wasn't super expensive to start, so it's not like they probably had a ton of voice actors.
As I recall, it was a college project. Where can I share my screen? Here we go.
That could actually be legitimate that Bob is Larry.
Bob is Larry. Phil, let's see. Maybe it shows us a picture and then we can just... Whoa.
What is that one from?
I don't know. I've never... Oh, it's a Netflix show.
Oh, Netflix. Garbage.
Okay. So, what's his name? Phil Visor? Or
Mhm.
Vischer? I think it's Visor, something cool like that.
Fisher.
He plays Jonah, Mr. Lunt, Bob the Tomato, Mr. Nezer, George Sedgwick. I don't remember who those characters are. No, that would be Paul Grape and
From
Mr.
the
Lunt.
Vikings?
No, from the pirate movie.
Oh.
That's wild. Okay. And then who's the
Dang,
other
he did
dude?
a lot of voices.
Yeah, I didn't know Bob and Mr. Lunt were the same person. And then we got Mike Naraki? I have no idea.
Is that
He's
the
Larry.
Larry guy?
Yeah, he's Larry. Okay, and he's only Larry.
He has a
it
very
looks like.
iconic voice, so I don't know.
He does. Yeah, we don't need him doing multiple things. Okay.
Dang, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, so you're an actor, and yeah, I left it
First
on there
and only
because
film, I think.
maybe one day I'll just like redo it. Because I saved that one and The Prodigal Sloth with Gabe.
Oh, that was
If
great.
you can remember that one. That one was a masterpiece in his own. I gave him a sloth. I recorded it and told him to do anything. And then it became like a prodigal son story. And the like crazy part was everybody who was involved with it was just because they saw Gabe. And there's like maybe an hour of cut footage in this 5-minute short film. Or he's just
Gabe
like...
was an icon, so...
Yeah, because he could talk to anybody and they'd be like, oh, we want to be part of your movie. And that was wild. And yeah, he even got like the DAs in on it and stuff. And it was a whole thing.
You talked about having big people on the podcast with Zoe. I think you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Gabe is your big guy. I'm going to sacrifice my other call out. The previous one I was going to put, and I really wanted to put that name in there. I'm going to say Gabe's my call out there. Yeah.
Honestly, I could ask him. I think he'd be down.
I saw him on Sunday at church. The one I go to, him and Megan are there. So
you just gotta drop. He'd be like, "Hey, no big deal. There's this podcast I heard of. You should tune in." And then he finds out it's me and he's trapped. So
all right.
I don't know.
I'll put some finesse in there and hopefully get him on.
We've had worse ideas, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
We have had much worse. So this is a possibility. Let's get Gabe on the podcast 2022. But let's start this thing. Here we have Mr. Chubby Wubby, who I hardly integrate, but I just keep him around anyways because he's adorable.
And iconic.
Welcome to the Many Friends of David S. This is the show that ends before it starts because we don't really have a set amount of episodes or people who are going to be on here. It's really up in the air. It could end tomorrow. This could be the last episode.
Or we've got more friends than that you can add on there. Yeah.
No, we have at least 20 more, so maybe 25. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but 25 might be the end. Keep watching. Limited series, maybe. Today I'm joined with my almost 4 years in a row roommate. Let's say 3. 2.5. 2.5 year roommate, Luke Jarrett. Yeah, it's been a crazy year. We've had COVID and all that junk, and you're kind of in our room one year and kind of not. It was a whole thing. But I'm glad to have you on here, buddy.
Glad to be here.
What you got to say? Thank you. You've seen these episodes, which is a first. I'm really glad. Because now I can ask you the first question, and I think you know it. I hope you would by now. What was our first impression of each other, and when did we become friends?
First impression. So, originally,
first impression.
Welcome week at GCU freshman year. Everybody else of the roommates had already gotten to school. Most people had moved in. Everybody was already kind of doing their thing. I show up I think it's either the last day of welcome week or like right before classes are going to start.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of going down the hall and I'm like, okay, so I know from my list here, like I didn't like Instagram stalk anybody. I just knew whose names like was in the room. And so it was like, I'd met Gabe, I think I'd met Max, and I think I'd met the other two guys too. You were the last one who I hadn't met yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so you and a friend coming walking down the hall up to Willow 115, I think. Was that the
Okay.
room? Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so anyways, you and your friend Jaren are coming up to the
Jared.
room, and I'm like, hey, you must be David. And I shake Jaren's hand, I think. And so I don't know why I assumed he was David. I just
I don't
not
know
sure.
either. I remember that too. That was
And I
my
don't think
story too. I
anybody
was, huh?
corrected me either because
It was too late. Yeah. No, what we did is I told you my. He said he was Jaren. I said I was David, and we didn't acknowledge that you didn't know any different, and we just both walked away.
yeah,
And
that's
that
right.
was the experience.
So
But yeah,
originally, my first impression was I didn't really know which one you were. So it was I
I just
can't
like I don't
fairly
even
say.
know. Just like how do I
um,
get along with this guy? That is interesting. But yeah, but
After that, I'll just say I think that we didn't really have a whole lot in common until like maybe halfway through the semester. I was pretty quiet doing my own thing. I think you were relatively quiet on the other side of the room doing
oh
your own
yeah,
thing.
I was a quiet kid at the time.
Uh
That was
huh.
no joke. But
And
yeah,
so I
no,
didn't see
because
you
we
that
did
much.
not talk.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I even like for the story of how we became friends. That is in the future for me.
Hmm.
I just, I, yeah, because we were in the same room a couple times, but you were just kind of the kid that would play my PlayStation time to time.
It's true.
And like, yeah, what is your story of when we became friends?
Story of okay. So I feel like it's pretty linear. So freshman year, first semester, I wasn't that close to I don't think you or Tristan or the other Max. Mostly just Gabe and Max because we were on our side. Um,
Hmm.
what really solidified our friendship, I feel like, was that spring break trip. So
Ooh, that was a fun one. Yeah.
yeah, that was fun. So I think before that we were friends, and I had helped you with the video and done some other things. But I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be like friends for a long, long time. I don't know if we're all splitting up after this semester. But there was that spring break trip. We all went to your house, and we went to I think it was Magic Mountain or Six Flags. Do you remember
That's
which
right, we
one
went
it
to
was?
Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the same thing over
Okay.
here.
Yeah, it was a
It's
lot
like
of fun.
that park is called that. Yeah.
And
But
then
yeah,
there
that
was
was a
some
lot of fun.
drama that
That
ensued
was
within
drama.
that, and then it kind
Oh
of like
man,
destroyed our freshman year friend group. But you were on the
that
outside
was a
of the
weird
drama,
thing.
and I was on the outside of the drama. I remember
That's
I
right.
tried to like
Yeah.
mitigate it a little bit. I'm like, okay, this guy, he he's kind of in the middle like me too in this. I was like, I feel like we're gonna end up being friends after this, just because everybody else is going doing their own
We
thing.
had nothing else. Yeah, because we could at least go and enjoy our food when we're all hanging out. But they were like, "Oh my god, you know this person sucks." I'm like,
Uh
"Yeah,
huh.
that's all we
I'm
talk
like,
about now." And
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
how could I forget?
I think that
No, I totally remember that.
friendship started with that trip, for sure. Like,
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Well, before I share mine, I'll have you just
mhm,
walk us through the years because that was the only the first year we met. What was the next
mhm.
year, as you recall?
Next year was sophomore year. I got a position as a life leader, I think. Uh, I
Hmm?
end up living with a different guy because you, Max, and Max, I think we're all living together with
That's
those
right.
other guys. Um,
Yeah, our group was falling apart at that point. I'll say that.
uh-huh. So it was like I ended up a lot of the time because Eric was a good guy. He was just pretty quiet. So usually I would
Hmm.
come over and hang out at your guys' room. So I was kind of like a honorary roommate with you guys. I feel like I
Yeah.
would always be watching Philadelphia with you guys or Rick and Morty or
Yeah.
something like that over there. So,
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Well, before we get to junior year, because junior year is just
mhm.
so many twists and turns, I'll share my
Oh yeah,
story before I forget it, really.
yeah.
But I think that we became friends like when I got that job, when you got me the job, because like you were tired of it by then, and you had like what 3 days, but you had to walk like 5 miles to get to work, and I had
Hmm.
somebody who could drive me, so you're just like, oh, why don't you just go? And I got there, and you had like kind of warned me how like bad it was, and I didn't really believe you. You're just like, oh, it's like ghetto or something like that. And no, dude, that was bad. It was like like nobody wanted to be there when the sun went down, and like oh, you just every like circus looking person of just like deformities, like the
Mm.
guy with the fleshy eye, and like
Oh, oh.
nobody had teeth there, and they'd be yelling all the time. It was like I don't know. It was really hostile at night. It was a weird thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then so it was like it was cool that you got me the job, and I don't think we'd be friends if you didn't. But we really became friends when we started working together because we were the only ones that we had like full set of teeth and everything, and
Uh-huh.
we I don't know, we saw that it was not a normal thing for the world to look this way, which is maybe discriminatory, but also like I don't know.
It
There's
wasn't
definitely
normal,
drugs
that's for
going
sure.
around, and that was like yeah. So it's not exactly our fault for looking different, but I don't know. It was weird. You could buy Legos there. It was a swap meet. You could buy Legos there. You could buy knives. I bought a lot of knives there. I
Skateboard,
don't even
or
know
you
if I
bought a
need them.
longboard, I think.
I did buy a longboard though, and it was like $25, which is really good because it was still
Hmm.
like a really good one, which is like I think 200 normally.
I know, yeah.
So pretty cool with that. Um, what else? We hate our boss. We always hated our
Uh
boss. Won't say his name. He will not be on this podcast.
huh.
But he was. I don't. How would you describe him? What,
Too
or do you even
pushy.
have like a little anecdote? Pushy is a good word. Yeah. Maybe
No name drop.
friendly? No name
In a
drop. We're gonna
creepy
keep
way,
that
almost.
out of here. It was
Yeah.
creepy. And like he maybe had the best intentions, but it never came off that way. It was very
David, I
like
need to talk to you.
yeah, hands on your shoulders kind of deal, and
Yeah,
like
uh-huh.
don't help this guest out. Why? And it was weird. And
Yeah.
it's just like let me. How can I help you guys outside of work? You can leave us alone outside of work. No, that just
Can I
couldn't
buy you
register for
lunch?
that
Can I buy
guy.
you lunch? Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a
It's just
ride? You
weird.
need a
Grown
ride?
man. Yeah. And then he was gonna buy you a car. Let's not forget
He
that.
was. I was like, dude, if this guy's buying me a car, he expects a lot from me. I'm like, no, I'm getting my grandpa's Jeep, which I
Dude, he was
didn't.
gonna
I was.
indentured serve you. He was gonna make you work to pay that off, and that is so many shifts. That is years down the line.
Mm,
You'd be there
it was
today. God.
I really would. My life would probably be frozen at the swap meet, living paycheck to paycheck for
Making
who knows how
California.
long.
I think
I would end
honestly,
up
if the
like,
smell didn't stay on you for a week, I think I would be okay going back maybe. Because it's just you'd go home smelling like syrup, and it wasn't bad, but it was overwhelming. And
uh,
like my car would smell like syrup. I would take a
your
shower, wouldn't get
closet would
off.
smell like it from your laundry hamper.
Oh god! Basically, have to hide it in there, and like all the like salt that would get on your skin. I did have very clear skin, just because of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, God, it just wasn't worth it, and we didn't realize that till junior year. But yeah,
Hmm.
we can now talk about the fabled junior year. They changed everything.
Junior year was big. Like, we started out, so originally how we ended up as roommates junior year is I had told first my other roommate who I was currently living with. I was like, yeah, so we're gonna room together, right? Because you and Max, I think at the time,
We were
had
in a room.
planned on living together, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, we'll just do this again. Max ends up doing online school, so he moves back to his home state, and we're like, okay, well, he's not living with you. It was more fun hanging out with you, and like, I don't know, it's easier to get to work if we're both like living in the same spot. We watch some of the same shows. Yeah, let's probably try to room together. So I had to tell this other roommate, hey, dude, I'm actually not going to live with you. And it was very awkward, and it
We
was
had
just
to
not
work
a
on the
good
whole text and
situation.
everything. Oh, it was awful. He
Yeah,
didn't live on campus. Oh no, he did live on campus after that. But
uh-huh,
still, it was
that
like
semester.
that must have been awkward, dude. He was
It
like,
was,
I don't know. And then we started inviting him to hang out with us, and I don't think that made it less awkward. I really don't.
mhm.
It was so
That was not a
bad.
great situation. But that's how we started the year, and it got better from there.
No, yeah, because we
Um,
had a good senior. I mean, not senior. We had a good junior
Junior
year.
year.
That was
Yeah.
like we peaked that year. I don't even
Hmm.
know. Do you have any examples of what we would do? Because I can't right now think of any.
Yeah, so
We watched a
basically
lot
after
of
we met,
TV.
we
Yeah,
did. We
after we met,
got through all of BoJack Horseman, all of
we
Breaking
did,
Bad.
and each of those
Um,
in 1 month,
hmm
which was
Like,
wild. BoJack
but we were
Horseman, we
doing.
finished the day you were leaving for
Hmm
home. But yeah,
We did a lot other than just watch TV too, though. Like somehow
that's
we
true.
fit in a ton of hanging out with like other folks as well as watching that. So like we met
We
Nate,
did.
and that's
We
kind of
met
where
Nate.
like I don't know, a lot happened from there. We ended up going to transition. Like, I think it was like October or September or something like that.
I don't know. But yeah, we met Nate, and Nate was like our little like door to this new world of just like everybody, basically everybody who's been on here minus one has been basically because of Nate. We can thank him for why we know them, and that's really crazy. Yeah,
That really is. I feel like he
ability.
he definitely was kind of like
together,
that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the linchpin of everybody's like greetings, I guess.
Yeah, because I think freshman or junior year is like when we made like the most long-lasting friends, I would say.
I think so. Because our like freshman year already fell apart. It was just us two now. We never saw anybody again. But we
Sophomore
were like
year was
out
quiet. It was fun, but it was quieter.
It was quiet, and COVID happened, so we like left early. But yeah, we had a lot to make up for junior year, and we did. We played a lot of video games. Red Dead. Oh my god! I think I ruined your life with Red Dead. You have not stopped playing it since.
I'm still playing that game, dude. Like it's.
What is this, the fourth time going through now?
I think so. This time it's more casually. I'm only like at 23% and just doing some challenges here and then. But yeah, that really did ruin my life.
Whatever makes you happy. We also had like little adventures where we'd have to do service hours for a scholarship, and we would go and like completely falsify our identity. We were wedding crashers essentially. We would go in there. We would change our names entirely. We would make up fake stories about our lives and just like kind of talk to girls that way. Like, oh, well, we're from Wisconsin. What do you know about that? And they'd be like, oh my god, I'm from Wisconsin. We're like, oh, well, we're not really like from that area. And just kind of like backpedal. But yeah.
And I was like,
and then
what was the last name of that family from that season of Fargo?
It was on the Gerhardts. We would be the Gerhardt family every time, yeah. And they would believe it. They'd be like, oh, do you know the Gerhardts from, was it Minnesota or something? And they'd be like,
Fargo?
Yeah, I think I've heard of them. Yeah, because they're not going to say no. And that was something. We really had like a little like, we had friends that never knew our names.
It's true. I think that was probably some of the most fun, like, just, we did a lot of deceiving people, like, throughout that time, I remember.
That was fun.
It was just, like, joking. And we took on whole, like, remember that one time when we're like, okay, I'm just going to do, like, a cowboy accent around campus and see if I can get phone numbers.
God, I was so mad, and you did it! This bastard did it! I was so mad. Because you, like, initially got, like, a laugh. You did it to some girls, and they're like, ha ha ha, that was weird. And then you, like, said it to some girl, and she looked at you and said nothing. And then she followed us to be like, excuse me, did you say hi to me? And you, like, just wanted, like, howdy or something, and you gave her, like, that and, like, a couple other words. And you got her number. You got her number. You got a date out of that. And I was so mad.
That was wild.
How? That was the craziest thing. Oh, my God.
Cowboy swagger, what can I say?
Yeah, no, that was... Wow. The way that game has just changed your life, I don't know.
It kind of gave me a whole new personality. Doing those CCSC hours and all that stuff like that. Like, CCSC. This was skipping ahead a little bit, but remember the pool table when we were like, we were doing our hours and definitely like leaving before we were supposed to leave. This was senior year, so I'm skipping.
This is when we had like the like, what were they called? Those shifts where we had to be up at like 4 a.m. and
doing the shuttles.
Yeah. Because we had to just basically move people in. But, like, I think after the first day, we were like, there's no way. We went back to our room for most of that time, and we just, like, went back to sleep, played video games.
Play some UFC, yep.
Yeah, oh my god, UFC. That was so stupid. Because that was a fun game, but then Nate just got good at it. And that was the thing with every game. Nate would get good at it, and then we couldn't play it anymore.
He kind of ruined it.
Never beating him. Yeah.
In 5 seconds, he would, like, grapple you, and you're like,
and there's no way to get out of it. And he's like, oh, you guys don't know how to beat me? No, we don't. And so we stopped playing that for good.
Stop.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, back to your story. So we had learned that there was a pool table in the building we're moving people into, and you can take it away from here.
Basically, so we're like the only 2 guys in our shift. There's probably like 6 to 7 girls. And then maybe a couple other guys. There was those weird guys, Donovan or something. Okay, anyway.
Donovan's on the podcast now, no.
Yeah. Me neither. So anyways, we go up the elevator, we're playing pool, and these kids from the hallway, like, who live actually on this hallway, like, come in, and they're like, hey, are you guys live on this floor? We're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm David. And then he's like, oh, I'm Luke. And we're like, nice to meet you guys. Where do you live? We're like, 315, something like that. I don't know. We just made up
Yeah,
one of
no.
the.
And they're like, oh, we're 2 doors down from you.
And I was like, I was like, sweet, sweet. And they're like, can we play with you some pool? So I think we were playing pool for a little bit. Then we ended up, I'm like, okay, let's leave. Get out of here. So we left.
No, yeah,
but
we
I
got
left
out of
my
there when
cell
they
phone.
offered to play with us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we were like, we got to get out of here. Like we've shared too much, and we're gonna lose everything once they know.
We've gone too far. So we
But
sneak
yeah,
out of the
you left
building.
your phone.
And I'm like, we're running. I'm like, shoot, I don't have my phone. I left it up there. So I have to sneak in the building after we already signed out early from our welcome hours, like an hour or something. We snuck in. I don't know the whole thing, but I have to go in there and sheepishly
you
like grab
snuck
my
in,
phone. I'm like,
got your phone. We pretended that we didn't do that, and then as we're leaving, some people were like, "Oh yeah, we got these like a gallon of sweet tea and lemonade from like Chick-fil-A, and they just give it to you if you're working in the building for everybody." So we turn to each other and we go to their little booth that they have, and we're like, "Oh, we just need this for this building over here." And they're like, "Really?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We just gave you guys that." No, we didn't get any. And we grabbed it and just walked into our room, and we had free Arnold Palmer for like 2 weeks.
for like yeah, exactly. They were the big old
Dude.
Chick-fil-A gallons that were like this.
They were. And honestly, if I can say so myself, that like first week, maybe week and a half of being there senior year, we were living like kings. We stole everything we needed, and we had like our own little fortress that we built in this room that had no furniture yet. And
We were
honestly,
living
that
the
was
high
pretty
life.
good. We had 2 TVs like on top of each other, and we were just able to play video games that way.
Just
And
side by side. Just
yeah, we had no work, no responsibility at the time, no schooling, so we were
no
really
homework.
just living it up. Yeah, and it was nice Arizona weather. I just think that we might have peaked those weeks of senior year.
Mhm.
Everything was downhill from there.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
say it got much better than that. That was
Yeah,
was
and you
good.
know what?
Good times.
That was a good time. I'll say that. But
Also, we weren't
yeah,
working at Kettle Corn, so that was definitely a plus.
we were done with kettle corn. He would ask us to show up. He even like personally asked you in person. And we were
Mhm.
not going back. And that was awesome.
Wonder how that
Yeah.
business is doing without us.
Honestly, they probably closed. We were the only employees for a long time. We would like,
And Joe.
man. Oh, and Joe. No, he's on the podcast now. All of his 3 teeth are going to be
my
on this
knees.
podcast. His knees were broken. He constantly alluded to a heroin addiction, and it was odd. And he was like, "I've been here for 10 years, but we've been there for 2, and we had never seen him
Never
before."
seen him.
He's like, "Yeah, I've never
Uh,
missed a shift, but like, there's no way." One time
Lord
he gave
giveth,
you a
the Lord
pizza.
taketh away. Yep.
Yeah, that's where that joke came from. Oh, that
Yeah.
could have been our inside joke, but no, it can't
Yeah.
be. I'll save that one. I'll hide that one
All right,
for later.
all right.
But the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. I'm gonna write that down. So yeah, that really gets us through all 4 years. I don't know if we had any significant things happen senior year. There was a lot of just like preparing for the end, and the end came, and I don't even know if we did anything. We played pool on that
No.
last day to have a nice little book ending.
Yep.
And it was just like, yeah. And yeah, it was nice. We started the year playing pool. We ended the year playing pool. It was pretty good games. There's a lot of good goodbyes, I
Pretty
think.
poetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of plasma we did. I mean,
Oh my god,
throughout the time.
plasma.
that's
Oh.
you already touched on that with Zoe's story, and that one tops all
Did
of
I?
ours.
She was dying, yeah. Oh, did I tell you why I stopped doing it? That
Mm-mm.
was the nightmare. They just, the needle went through and there's like blood forming on the bottom of my arm. You could see the
Oh.
color. And I was like, guys, I'm not feeling good. And so like the nurses rushed over and they're like, okay, we'll do the other arm. I was like, okay. Please don't. And I have like the giant bruise like that went all the way across my arm forever.
Ah,
Like
You're like,
weeks
yeah,
after
this
I
is not worth-
graduated.
not worth it.
I mean, hey, I got like good $800 that month. So
hmm
I don't know. They could kill me and I might be okay with it.
We definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, paid some bills with Kettle Corn and donating blood.
Did. No, yeah. Which I bought a PS5 because of all that. So I mean,
Uh-huh.
they want to kill me. Throw in another PS5 and I'm there. But
Sell
yeah.
our bodies for these things.
Honestly, I sold my soul, my body, my blood, literally.
hmm
I think it was worth it in the end. But
Yeah.
let's get into our hypotheticals. I have.
All right.
Let me start it off with this. Say you're watching a movie, and you love it. It's probably the best movie
Mhm.
you've ever seen. And this is gonna be a two-parter. That's what I'll do. It's the best movie you've ever seen. It's really just like really well made in every sense. The colors are great. Every shot looks like a painting. Every the acting is irrelevant to the question, but it's great too. The casting choice is good. I'll give it that. And the dialogue is like poetic. Like it genuinely feels like every poet got together and made this. And then you find out this entire movie was made and run by robots. Just a computer did this. Would that sway your, like, would you still like it? How would it make you feel?
That's a good question, actually.
I don't know how this came to me,
I
but it
feel like
surely
as
did.
soon as I knew it was made by robots, I would probably be like either a lot more impressed or a lot more like, okay, I mean, that's weird that robots did this. If humans didn't actually come together to make this thing, it would probably be less impactful to me because I would realize, like, hey, these robots just have an algorithm and they're pumping
Hmm.
out everything that, like, humans want to see in a movie, pretty much.
Yeah, they're
So,
just making another Marvel movie, so it's like,
yeah, I would be
But yeah,
less emotionally attached to it, I think, if I knew
yeah.
that this wasn't created by somebody who was like actually inspired and did all of this kind of
What were
same
you saying?
thing like in a lot of stuff in life. Like if somebody there's like an artist or someone who was passionate behind like the thing they made, you feel a lot more for the person. Like, man, that's so cool they actually did this. If it's like
Hmm.
a douchebag or something who did this kind of thing, and you're like you knew it was for a specific purpose to get this out of it, you're like a lot less like that's really cool kind of thing, like character behind it.
Yeah.
And if it's just robots, then it's
Okay.
like
We used to say
you're
there's a
not
character behind it.
emotionally
Yeah.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying
What
though?
I was gonna say is it would genuinely terrify me. Like at first, like when I asked this, I was like, oh, that's a little scary. But like now I'm thinking about it and like, dude, like just imagine a movie that like No Country for Old Men. If that movie was made by robots and it's like the coolest bad guy we ever had, the biggest sociopathic like just like freak, and a robot made that, what else can they make? And it's just like I don't know.
That's
That
a
kind
good
of creeps
point.
me out. And like furthermore, what was scaring me is like that's all they're missing. They're missing the personality of like this creativity that like because they can do
Oh.
your taxes now. They can there's like
Hmm.
any a lot of things computers can do for you, and it's just like well, it makes everything obsolete. If they can become creative, there is nothing we are good for anymore,
That's a scary thought
isn't it? Like I don't
because
even know. They're
corporations
topping
and
us.
stuff would use that AI and stuff to do all of their, I don't know, work, their creative marketing skills, all this kind of stuff. Like all those GCU kids who go in for business marketing, they would have no jobs. Like,
There's
I don't know.
nothing for them. They can't like shine in any way. There's
Hmm.
nothing for screenwriters. Um, I don't even know. It's only a matter of time before the police is like, yeah,
Robots.
you're,
I was
yeah,
thinking about that the other day. I'm like, okay, with all of these like mistakes and stuff that get like blown up kind of thing, what if it was
hmm
robots? Like, would they be criticized? Like, if
that's
they're
a good
like, you
one.
know what I mean? So it's like, what would the public's opinion be if these robots were like efficient, like cops or whatever? Like, would there be
Yeah,
any defund the police kind of thing? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? That,
I think so, but I think there'd be so much fear behind it that we couldn't write. Because if they're
it would
robots, there wouldn't be the compassion behind of like, oh, I'm not gonna hurt this person, which a lot of people argue won't stop them anyways. But I just yeah,
right. They
like
take that like
robots would have,
human part out of
yeah,
it.
they would, yeah, they take the humanity out of it. I don't know if they would just like I don't think they would kill people per se, but they would
Mhm.
definitely have like a way to just like subdue them, and that would
Right.
terrify a lot of people. It'd be worse than
Because
iRobot, I think.
no, yeah, that'd be awful. Because I don't know, a big thing is like it's letter of the law versus spirit of the law. So I feel like robots would be so letter of the law, like kind
Oh
of
yeah.
thing, that they wouldn't be like, okay, well, yeah, maybe this guy committed the crime, but
Hmm.
here's some circumstances around it. We're gonna treat him a little bit different than other circumstances.
Yeah, and
Robots, I
I
feel
I
like would
mean
just be like, you broke the law. Let's,
exactly,
I
and
don't
there's
know.
no one really to stop them, unless I don't know. It's not like we're gonna implement a kill switch because that would kind of render them useless. So I don't really
Uh
know.
huh.
I just it's a really broken thought, I guess, because
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, my next question, well, let's just keep furthering it, is you think it's possible that we'll have like a robot takeover, like one day?
I I think that's not something that at first you would think it would be like, yeah, I mean that's just kind of in the movies, but at the
Hmm.
same time, I think we've grown so much technology wise in the last 50 years than we have
Hmm.
like, you know, pretty much all the time before that. Like the last 50 years, it's just exponentially crazy how much like computers and stuff are used with
Yeah,
every day.
no
Like
kidding.
if a computer went down, like a store couldn't operate because like they're how they do
Yeah,
all
and it
their
happens.
transactions.
Exactly. It's
Um,
just,
like
yeah.
that's
Well, realistically, what would a robot world takeover look like, you think? Would it be
um
Terminator? What would it be? Would it just be like, oh, now we can't use our cash registers, which would definitely start some kind of issues. If
like
like
an
robot,
economic breakdown kind of thing.
I think that's how they do it. If they had the creativity and like the knowledge of humans, that's all they would have to do. They wouldn't need Terminators or like anything. They would just like simply, yeah, stop working, and we'd blame each other eventually. We wouldn't even blame the
Hmm.
robots, even if they
I
consciously
know,
could do that. What a thought! I
especially
don't know.
as things are being more and more automated. Like everything is like I don't know. Everybody depends on like Amazon and all this different things, and it's so much technology that like actually drives Amazon to do its things and all that. So if they were discreet, I think robots could completely screw with us like on an economic level, and then we
Oh
just
yeah,
couldn't recover. I feel
yeah.
like
They could
say
even like if
yeah,
they just
food,
hid
all
Wall
that
Street's
stuff.
numbers, boom. That's all they did. They didn't even have to like take away the money. They could leave it there, and if we couldn't see it, and like the stocks wouldn't show the market was down, we would have no idea, and that would be
Huh.
chaos. I don't
I
know.
don't think it would be like Terminator. I think it'd be more like that, to be honest.
I think it'd have to be. Like honestly,
Hmm.
like the Terminator would be doing too much work, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Whew.
yeah, what a thought. I don't
That
know.
is a good hypothetical.
We've turned into conspiracy theory podcast, and that's okay. It was inevitable, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
I had asked you to come up with a hypothetical. Do you have any for us? I
It's
thought you
funny
would be more than capable.
your question was that because
Was
mine
it
was
the
like
same one?
something. It wasn't that. It was if you could pass any law that would be enforced across the U.S., what would it be? Like, so
Ooh.
this is
Okay.
something that isn't a current law, but like it could be goofy, it could be serious. Like, what's something that maybe people wouldn't listen to the law, but it would be enforced. So
What
just
are my
like anything.
limitations?
Um, there are none. You can
So I could
whatever
just be
law.
like, it's legal to murder, and like that's fine. Like I can be like super
Okay,
like
let's say it can't contradict current
with previous
laws.
law. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I take away a law?
If you got
I'm
to
not playing
add
on it. It's
something to it
fine.
as well, so it can't just
Okay,
be
okay,
like now you can smoke weed or something like that.
okay.
It's got to be like sure you can take away
What
one,
I
but it's got
do?
to be more creative. Yeah. If you need to think of it over time, you can think of it. But I thought that was
I instantly
interesting.
thought like ban anime, but that sounds racist, so I don't want to do that. Um, I
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
it's across the U.S., so I mean, if you want.
No, I don't want to make the U.S. more racist than it is. Um, what do I do? That is a really good one. I've never really thought about that, believe it or not. Shoot, I think like I think I'd want to do something good with it. I wouldn't just like crap. Um, maybe. And out of the millions of smart things I can do, this is what I'm gonna do. You're able to get off of death row if you can make the whole jury laugh. That would be impressive. Just
You
like
know, I feel like that would be if you can get something as serious as whatever you're doing that you're on death row, you can get the entire jury to actually laugh. I mean,
it'd
that's
be
impressive. You
impressive.
should just
It
become a
would be a
comedian at
really
that
bad
point.
idea. Exactly, because that's the thing. We could have like I don't even know. Somebody could prepare their stand up and then murder a lot of people and be like, okay, they're definitely gone. And then they just give like the best thing for like 12 minutes. I'm like, shoot.
Ah,
And then they go back to it, but like it'd be funny.
well, Jim Carrey wouldn't get away with murder.
Jim Carrey?
Not,
Well, I don't know.
not funny.
Have you seen The Grinch?
The Grinch. No,
I
just
don't
kidding.
have a good example right now,
Yeah.
but he is two-time Emmy winning. Is he Emmy winning? I don't know. You don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't. I could. I wonder. It's just like how many like comedians would even pass the test? Like, would we finally show that Daniel Tosh is not funny? And just like, oh, like okay, like Trevor Noah definitely dies. Swear. Is John
So
Mulaney
did
funny?
they?
I think
John
John Mulaney's
Mulaney, I
funny.
feel like he's specific funny. Like if
Here's the thing. He went into rehab for doing drugs recently, and he got out of it. He went on to Saturday Night Live and did a stand-up bit talking about how he had an intervention and he hated it, and that was funny. Like people were dying, and like honestly, I thought it was pretty clever for like someone that's like done a lot of bad things. He made me laugh, and I'm a little scared of that power he has. So I
so he
don't
could
know.
he's definitely one of the guys getting off of death row if
He's
something
getting off of death
happened.
row. I don't even know what he'd say, but if I ever have Max on here, we'll definitely talk about how he gets off of death row.
All
But
right, all right.
yeah,
I think he's a better person to talk to about John Mulaney.
he does
Uh,
know it's John Mulaney. But yeah, who do you think would get off? Because that's gonna be my
Um,
answer for that. Who's your
right.
person that gets off of death row?
For being a just amazing comedian.
Yeah, for being funny enough. It doesn't have to be a comedian. It could be an actor. It could be just like a guy, just like that you can think of.
I'm gonna say Daniel Diaz.
Daniel Diaz. Oh God, no! I think it would just be an
I
awkward
just want him
silence.
on the
They might
podcast.
kill him as he was doing that. You just want him on the podcast. No.
Oh.
I think, yeah, they would instantly kill him. He would say something awful, and then just, bah, like, get assassinated.
Oh,
And then everybody would clap, and then the guy that assassinated him, like, in the audience, would get away with it. Just
exactly.
be like,
They were like,
thank
okay,
you.
that was pretty funny. uh, that's my
Yeah.
answer.
But I mean, I
Oh.
don't think it's too insane for this to happen. You know, I heard in fourth grade that Abraham Lincoln got away from like, I was gonna say speeding tickets, but that can't be
Mhm.
true. But some kind of ticket, because I don't know, horse speeding tickets, is that a thing? Did their horses have a speed
Sure,
limit?
he was galloping through the city too fast.
Yeah. Well, whatever. He got away from like whatever fine he had to pay because he made like the judge laugh. And
Really?
you know, funny enough, when that happened, how we learned that lesson is our teachers told us like whoever can make her laugh won something. I don't remember what, but we all got to go around the room trying to make jokes. None of them were funny, but yeah, I was like, isn't that a concept? I think if I was a
Did
teacher, I wouldn't state that. Like, oh, you didn't do like an assignment or you just completely failed. I'll give you like a chance, but make me laugh. And if you can't, like tough shit, kid. Like that is the truth.
that's actually? I feel like that would get kids more creative. Like I
I
don't
think
know,
so.
a sense of humor really makes a person. Honestly, I think humor is kind of related to just how smart a person is. Like
That's
not
true.
exactly, but like there's some part of humor that you just have to be able to understand people, and maybe you're
Hmm.
not like IQ crazy or something, just like off the charts kind of thing. But if you
Uh
can
huh.
understand your audience enough to like get a reaction out of them that's not a pity reaction, I feel like you're pretty smart. Like,
No, I definitely agree because there's low levels of humor. You could just
mhm.
be like oh, like a fart joke or something, and it's like
Right.
sometimes it's funny. It's not that's not, but like it's sometimes some jokes are just so easy. And if for the people watching this, do you ever hang out with me? You'll notice I'll say that sometimes at jokes. I'll just be like, no, it was too easy, and I won't laugh at it. And it's like, yeah, it's if anybody can
Hmm.
make the joke, it's not that good. I don't know, but yeah. So I
Humor's
definitely think
complex.
exactly, and that's what like that's the thing I like about John Mulaney, and even with his like his rehab things, he talks about like yeah, this is bad, but like there's some funny aspects to it, and it's like I think a really noble thing to notice the humor in some like in your own mistakes and all that, and like to
Yeah.
know your audience, that's a really big thing. Just know how to tell a
Hmm.
story is honestly one of the most
Hmm.
intelligent things you can do, and how you can win people over. I think, not that I can do that,
Yeah.
but what a dream. But I've stolen. I haven't taken away your law. I do want to hear it. What would you pass?
Okay, so if I could like pass one law kind of thing,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, when you first said the ban anime kind of thing, that kind of got me thinking ban TikTok. I don't know.
Just completely?
Mm.
You know, there are a lot of negative things coming from TikTok. I've heard.
Didn't it
It's just
start as like something called Musically, and then there was
Yeah,
a bunch of pedos on there, and they're like,
didn't
we
know
can't
that.
have this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's why they changed it to TikTok. They're like, yeah, we can't. This is not cool. A bunch of 40-year-olds are like doing duets with like 10-year-olds, and like this is not good. So they ended up changing it. This is what I heard at
Wild.
least. They changed it to TikTok, which is the same platform. It's just they changed the name on it, and I think it's run by the
Shoot.
Chinese, which don't care really about morals that much. Like as far as
Mm-hmm.
it's more, they're like, okay, we're making a lot of money off this and all this stuff. So
Hey,
I
okay,
don't
dude.
know. I think there's
It
some
could be
bad
possible.
bad stuff coming out. Also, it's
Here's the
making
thing I
people.
heard.
Uh huh.
Because
Go
it's
ahead.
like super, like, there's a lot of sexual content on there. And, like, a lot of it's
Mm-hmm.
humor and all that, but it's still,
Geared
it's like
towards,
there,
yeah,
you know it. It's
because there's no
awful.
way like these like young kids are should be seeing this content that's like very like back in the day. I feel like that's very like 18 plus
Mm-hmm.
like kind of content that they're dumbing down almost to make it seem lighthearted and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you're putting it in like short little clips and stuff that's getting all these little kids like attention kind of thing, and like probably what they're seeing in TikTok is like anything way worse than as we were growing up. Like even
Yeah.
in some of the worst movies we were allowed to watch, it's like the stuff in the TikTok's more like scandalous and stuff than what we were
No, I
seeing. Like you know
agree.
what I mean?
Because, like, there's a lot of the time I don't like to, like, feed into, like, oh, my generation didn't have this and we're better at this. But, like, honestly, I think, like, this is a definite example and probably the only one I can definitely say that, yeah, our generation has definitely changed that. And it's really our fault
Mm.
on this one. And it's a
Yeah.
weird thought. I don't know. But,
No,
yeah,
I think
it's
robots.
awful.
That's it's the robots.
It's the
They know
robots,
if they
man.
can.
The robots control the world. Tinfoil hat me. I don't care. That sounds very real to me, at least. I don't
So
know.
banning TikTok, that would be my law.
Just completely? Well, there's going to be another. It's like if you take that away,
It's
somebody's going to
true.
find something else. Instagram was a
It's gonna
TikTok
be
before
like
TikTok got bad.
that's true. It was just
It's
like the
just bad.
reels and all
One
that
way it'll
stuff.
die too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'll die just like
What can you do?
MySpace and
Oh,
Facebook are already dying.
uh huh.
Facebook's dying. But
Oh yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know. Instagram might be dying. I don't know. I think it's still really popular. I haven't
I
heard
think
a lot
it's
of people
like
using
because it's
Snapchat
a
these
platform
days.
you can put your pictures on. You said Snapchat's dying too.
I think so. I don't know a lot of people that use it anymore. I don't. I haven't had it
Yeah.
in forever. But yeah,
No,
it's like, and that
basically,
was
I'll talk.
huge.
I'll like snap my sisters on that, and like that's about it. I'll be like, yo, like this is that's like that's it. It's yeah,
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's fun to text on there. I'll say that, but like, I
that's
don't know.
true.
I just don't think I need it.
It's fun
Like,
seeing
there's
their
other
little
things to text
emoji.
on now. Exactly.
Yeah. No,
And
no worries. I do want to tell the quick story, like I don't know
you're
before, because both Julia and Zoe talked
Zoe.
about like
That's
how
right.
they
You did
met
want to
you.
talk about them. Okay. Yeah.
I just want to
Shoot.
do like a quick little
Is this your last
homage to
story
them.
of the ending last
Yeah,
story
yeah, we
thing or
can
no?
end it with this when you say your other stuff, whatever you need first, and then we can end it like that if you want.
Okay. No. Let's go for it. You can share your.
Okay.
I'll share mine because it's shorter and
Yeah,
yours sounds more meaningful. But
sounds good.
this is our one inside joke. I've never shared an inside joke, I think, so this finally. But we usually just tell stories. But
Yeah.
we usually just tell stories. Sorry, I couldn't say that right. But it's we were working at Calicorn, and our favorite man, the man with the heroin addiction and the no knees, was like
Joe Mama.
Joe Mama, yeah, we'll call him that. He was like, "You guys want a pizza? I brought pizza." And it was just one slice in tinfoil. And you accepted this pizza from this man who was a heroin addict like it was nothing. and and he's like, "Okay, I'll cook it up for you." And he throws it on the kettle, the hot kettle that we pop corn in, that like occasionally shoots out like flaming hot like oil
Scalding
dipped
little
kernel,
caramel bits.
yeah, little caramel bits at us. And he put it inside, and he started cooking it for you, and you ate it, and he was like, "It's okay, you can eat it. My sister made me spaghetti," and that's when he said, "The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away," and he gave you a pizza slice, and then you got sick from that pizza slice, like you got like this like a stomach flu or
Oh,
something, or like
I
food
was in
poisoning,
bad shape.
and so yeah, that
It was
entire
coming
day
out
you were
both
like.
ends.
Yeah, that entire day you were dying in the bathroom, and then we were just like We were laughing so hard. We were like, the Lord, give it, the Lord, take it away.
Take it away. Oh!
And then you're just throwing up, yeah. And he surely did.
That's the last time I'm going to accept pizza from a heroin addict.
That's going to be the title of this episode. But yeah, well, he surely did. And yeah,
man.
I think about him time to time.
He would. The funny thing about Joe is he would like take a handful of pills out of his pocket, just throw them and just crunch them like candy. He wouldn't even swallow the pills. He'd go with his like four teeth.
Yeah, and they were like 4 different bottles. He'd open, put them all in one, and just. And then
mind you, he had like 2 molars and then like a tooth.
That's right.
He was
and
unstoppable.
For like the next like couple hours. He would feel no pain, not complain about his knees. And as soon as the popcorn came out, scalding hot, he would scoop it with his bare hand, which was unthinkable for us because we had nerves in our hands. And he just, that's good, that's good. like a cartoon character.
It had to be at least like 200 degrees, like the popcorn. It's like
I don't even know because you couldn't even put it in a bag. If you put it in a plastic bag, it would melt. That was fact.
Yeah.
And he would just eat it. Serve it like that. That's good. I like the way you guys make it. And then, which is in complete like inverse to what our boss would say, because he would freak out if we like cooked it too much. He'd be like, "You're burning it! You're burning it! You're burning it!" He would turn into like his voice would go high, and he'd run over to the kettle. And he'd like push us out of the way physically, I might say. He'd be like,
he would
flip it, and that was oh man.
And that's exactly how he sounded too.
I can't even think of a good memory we had from that, like a positive memory. They were good ones, and we lived to tell the tale. But we asked out the same girl once. We flipped a coin. We flipped a coin for my idea. I walked past her, said, "That girl's cute. I'm gonna ask her out." And you're like, "Can I do it?" And I don't know why. I thought, yeah. And so I told you my idea prior to, which was just trade her number for a bag of kettle corn, and you did it. And you won, so I had to honor the code, but yeah, so you walked over, you did it, she gave you your number, it worked out for you, and then you just decided
and a free lemonade.
Like this girl. You got a free lemonade from it, and you're like, I don't like this girl, and so you're like, you should do it, and I thought that was hilarious, and I was like, it's gonna look so bad on both of us, but I think for that matter, it's funny, so I do the same thing, completely shamelessly acting like that never happened. I bring her a bag of kettle corn, and I'm like, hey, can I trade you for your number? And she was like
what the?
Like she recognized it was weird. She didn't acknowledge it, and then she's like, okay. But so she gave me her number. I think that was kind of the end of that.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I don't have. Do we have any other like good last minute stories that we can share? You know?
Yep, I've got. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Was that the last one you're gonna share? Because I have one before that. Okay.
Yeah, you go for it.
It doesn't have to be. We can just keep telling stories. We got time.
Yeah.
We're cutting a couple bits. Okay. Well, because I know I can't share it on his episode, but it's gonna come anyways, and he's gonna hate it. I'll briefly mention it there, but I want to talk about Mambo number 5.
This is a great story.
This is a great story. So, Noah, we love you, buddy. Can't wait to see you on here. But we're gonna talk about your least favorite story in the world, and that's it was 2 a.m. and you were yelling at whatever video game you were playing, and Luke and I could not sleep because of it. So
it was Battlefield. It was Battlefield.
And not Battlefield on the podcast, but but I don't know what I bet you. I bet you something that I was like, I bet you wouldn't take a speaker and blast Mambo number 5 because it just came to my head. Let's just hide that in the living room, and you like immediately jumped out of bed and ran over there. You got your speaker.
No hesitation.
And yeah, no hesitation. You hid it behind like the fridge or something, and then you started playing it. Or no, you ran back in the room, and we waited like a minute, and then it just like clear as day. We can hear it through the walls. It was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mambo, Mambo number 5."
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got like 5 seconds in there. And then he's like, "Whoa, yo!" And he runs over. You can hear him just tearing things apart in the living room. And it's like, "Mambo number 5."
I put it in the trash can under the liner between the trash can.
And yeah, and he starts freaking out. Like, "Where's it coming from?" And he's yelling, and we're dying. And so he bangs on our door. He's like, "Where's it?" like it's like the Batman just attacking us or something. And so we turn it off and it's like, oh, we're sorry, man. So we got him, and we're just like, we're sorry, man. We'll never do it again. And then we did it like every single day for like the whole semester. Every time we left a room, he was not safe. And he knew it. He was like, you guys didn't hide it this time, did you? And we're like, no, we wouldn't do that.
I was like, no, got the speaker right here.
Yeah. And then we have like Nate's speaker secretly hidden somewhere. Every time he took a nap, every time we left, it was Mambo number 5. And then, he wouldn't have it after a while. He was freaking out, yelling at us, and would never stop us. We would record it. It was a whole different variety of how we would attack him. And yeah. Now, anytime
on Noah's episode, you'll have to ask him about his retaliation.
I will after I just play it in the background for the entire hour. But yeah,
that has to be his intro. What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, Noah Fisher.
No.
A little bit of Noah in my life. All right, but we've gotten enough stories, I think, to last decades. So, do you want to finally tell your story that you've been hiding off on?
Yes. Okay, so turn on the stove because I've got some tea. So it all
sit around the campfire, folks.
Children.
So diddle for
both
you.
The first and fourth guest, Zoe and Julia, who both, I mean, they told their story how they met David and everything. Mm-hmm. So this friend group of ours, originally, I just wanted to do a quick mention to my part of like this little story here because we've got it from Julia's perspective, Zoe's perspective, David's perspective. I just want to throw mine in there. So first week, I meet Zoe. We're at transitions. I don't think she had come before or something. So like the first time I met Zoe was when we were at transitions. She didn't really know anyone, and I was kind of like sitting at the back. I don't know why at that point, but there was like not a ton of seats. So we were sitting back there. I don't want to mention this name, or then this person's going to have to be on the podcast, so that's not going to happen. That was later anyways. Yeah. So basically, throughout that night, we were like talking and stuff, and I don't know how the conversation got to it, but we were talking about Star Wars. I'm like, dang, this person likes Star Wars? Like, okay, this is cool. We're going to be friends. So we're talking about all this stuff, and then I'm like, so what's your favorite Star Wars? Like, and I think she says episode 7, maybe, or it was like one of the sequels.
One of the bad ones.
So what do you think of Revenge of the Sith? Said, I didn't see that one before. I was like, oh, red flag. So we end up getting back to the room. This is Nate, David, myself, and like Jake and stuff. We're getting back. I was like, I don't know, this girl's pretty cool and everything. I mean, she's good looking. She likes Star Wars. And they're like, nah, bro, no. She never seen episode 3. That's like worst one. I was like, you're right. So Zoe, the reason why you had a crush on me. I think I had a crush on you. It just never worked out because you never watched Revenge of the Sith. So what can I say? That's where I'll leave that. But
and that is where
tying it back into that whole the friendship with the 4 of us. I think that was a good group of folks.
I think so, yeah. Because you were the one that brought them to the room. You met them first, really, and now they're here on this podcast. So that's crazy how things work. It's like that whole chain of like dominoes, right? What are they called? Chain reactions. Where it's just like all fall into place, and now we're here where we are, and that's pretty cool actually. That's like a really good thing about this podcast. We can see like the growth that came from like friends that we never thought were going to be interesting, and here we are. And I just love it. That's basically it.
Here we are.
Love to hear it. But,
that was a fun episode. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I do want to ask you that last new segment that I started, and who would you like to dedicate / just have this person? Who would you want to watch this episode?
If
there's just one person.
If I have to mention one person, I'm gonna say Max Sutton. He was involved in a good amount of the stories that we had early on. So
it's true, yeah.
I think he needs to be introduced to this. And lots of the other people, I'm sure, are already gonna get introduced to this. We got to get this guy on here. So
yeah, man. I'll send this to him. I'll be sure to let him know you give him a shout out at the end. But yeah,
all right, sounds good.
I'm thankful that you're on this episode. It's glad to hear from you again. Whenever our paths may cross again, I can't wait, man. But yeah, thank you for being on the episode.
Sounds good. Looking forward.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye, Tony.